Hey, greetings everybody. Jeffrey Guterman. Just setting up this ball game here. 1911. Well, let's enjoy this one. Oh, it's going to be a few minutes, 15 minutes, give or take. No rush, right? Caldwell and Krause. Caldwell and Krause. God, they had a lot of pictures in this game. Jesus. God. God, New York won again. Lord, they won the second game and they won the first game. Holy shit. The Philadelphia A's, the best team in baseball, lost 3 straight to the New York Highlanders. Alrighty, let's get these lineups going. This is the New York Highlanders at the Philadelphia Phillies. This is the third of a 3-game series. New York took the first 2 just like in real world. And they took the third one too in real world. And we're looking forward to this game. This will take us into the evening. All right. Let's get these records. So I guess we would say New York is probably 2-0. Yes, they are. With a half a game lead. And Philly is 0-2. 2 games behind. Just one of those things. I'm going to set these lineups quietly and then go over them. I like to look at the last game just to make sure that these people are there. If not, we use nameless players. This is a time travel back to history. Pretty much the same lineup as last game. but we'll see. Krause, we used the nameless play. Oh, he was the star of the game. I'm sorry. Otis Johnson at short. It's the same exact lineup. Caldwell will be the starter. I assume he has no record. No record. And also pitching. And you wonder why they took these folks out. Jack Quinn. Let's just put this in here. Oh, Caldwell pitched 2/3 of an inning, but he's ready to start this one. How do you like that? And Quinn pitched 1/3 of an inning, and he got the save. Interesting. Martin came in for the A's to pitch 2 innings. Quinn and Ford came in relief in this game. Ford got the win. The relief pitchers for the A's, Morgan, Lefty Russell, and Alan Caldwell. Okay, that'll do that. Now let's check out the A's. Topsy. Oh my Lord. Topsy heart cell. God. Okay. Oh. This takes a bit longer than the 69 because I'm not familiar. Briss Lord. Okay. Collins at second, Baker at third, home run Baker. Plays third. Harry Davis. Murphy in right. Barry at short. Ira Thomas gets to catch. And it's Harry Krause starting. Pitcher catcher short, first, third, second, left, center, right. Pitcher catcher short, second, third, first, right, center, left. We are set for that. Now we will let's just get this. There we go. That's good. Oh yeah. There we go. Oh, it's not easy. With all these windows. Excuse me. Let me get the team set up here. Here's Caldwell. Very nice. Yeah, he was 14-14. The Highlanders are about an average team. He's a 5WL3. Walter in right. So the lineup is for the Highlanders: Harry Walter in right field, Charlie Hemphill in center, Hal Chase at first, he's a 1. Roy Hartzell at third, he's a 4. John Knight at second, he's a 4. Bertie Cree in left, he's a 1-2. Oh God, he's good. Otis Johnson at short, he's a 4. They have some good fielders, they have some bad fielders. And Walter Blair, the catcher, a 2+1. I think I'll tweet this one out. Let's get the Philadelphia Athletics. Hartzell, Lord. Whoops. Ooh. Oh. There's Harry Krause, the pitcher. Oh. Topsy Hartzell, 38 at bats. And he led off. Okay. Bertie Brislord. Oh. Eddie Collins, Baker, Davis, Murphy, Barry, Ira Thomas behind the plate. He's a 1. A 1-4. Wow. Krause is a 4WS4. Let's get the lineup here now. For the Philadelphia Athletics, the returning American League champions, leading off Topsy Hartzell in left field. Briss Lord in center. Eddie Collins at second, he's a 1. Frank Baker at third, he's a 2. Harry Davis at first, he's a 3. Danny Murphy in right field, 2-3. Jack Barry at short, he's a 2. Real good fielding. And Ira Thomas, a 1-4, with Krause batting 9th. I think I am going to tweet this out. Let's take a look where they played. Maybe I'll tweet. It's Shibe Park. Holy cow. And there were 8,000 people there. Lord. Whoa. Holy cow, what a picture. Yeah, let me post this real quick. Oh, God. There we go. No, let's let that go. Oh, beautiful. Let's get a little sound here. $8,000. Hey, greetings everybody, Jeffrey Guterman, and did I just see Kathy Harden come in here? Holy cow. Because it wouldn't be the same without you. There she is. Oh, beautiful. Just a beautiful evening for a ball game, isn't it? Ray Caldwell for the Highlanders. His first start. And Harry Krause, also his first start for the Philadelphia A's. Caldwell, the right-hander, Krause, the southpaw. we've gone through the lineups, but we have a tweet on board. It shows a picture of Shibe Park. Very beautiful. See people already retweeting. Is Kathy Harden with her retweet. Oh, I wrote 1911 twice. It doesn't matter. Let me just take it out. That's the good thing about the edit feature. And I was hoping for a nice leisurely ball game this evening. I really was. I'm going to take a little medicine and we will be ready to go. Yes, we will. Greetings to everybody and welcome to Shibe Park. The New York Highlanders, who I believe still play at the Polo Grounds, the house that Ruth built was built in like 23 or something. Won the first two of this three-game series, 3-2 and 11-9. And that's how it happened in real world. And they won the third game, this third and final game of the three-game series. They swept the A's. The A's are the returning American League champions, owned and managed by Connie Mack. So, you know, these things happen. We'll see, though, if they sweep in our replay. I'm gonna clean my chillum out. Just a little swoosh. And take some medicine and we're ready to play ball. Woo! Let's have a nice and leisurely ball game, folks. A nice leisurely ball game. I just felt like playing this one. $8,000 in attendance. That's a good crowd. And I assume that's an estimate. Well, it's great to have Kathy Harden, and the rest of you who are out there, feel free to jump in on text. Oh, is that tasty? Folks, just imagine going back 112 years. Nobody at this game is alive, whether it be the players or the fans. I mean, if you had an infant at the game, the infant would be 112 years old, and I highly doubt that happens. This is from a long, long time ago. And just imagine if these players even had an inkling that not only would we be playing their games through a card and dice fantasy game like Strat-O-Matic, but that I'd be broadcasting it accessible basically to the whole world. This is before TV. This is before radio, for Christ's sakes. And we are at Shibe Park. It's a nice picture of it on Twitter that I posted. Harry Krause, the southpaw for the A's, takes the field along with the A's, setting up the A's, the returning American League champions, setting them up defensively. It's Krause on the mound. Ira Thomas is catching him. In the infield, it's Davis at first, Eddie Collins at second, Frank Home Run Baker at third, Barry at short, outfield left to right, Topsy Hartzell in left field, Briss Lord in center, and Murphy in right. And leading it off for the Highlanders, who are 2-0 and have probably a temporary hold of being tied for first place in the American League, it's Harry Walter. And Kathy Harden is for the Highlanders. I have to always go with Kathy unless it really, really rubs me the wrong way. And that's okay. As much as I'd like to see Philadelphia win at least one. But in a way, I want the, who is the Detroit Tigers came in second. So actually, maybe I do really want them to lose as much as possible. If you go look at the standings, the Athletics came in first. The Tigers were 13 1/2 games behind. Then came Cleveland, Chicago, Boston, then New York in 6th place. They're not an awful team, but they're not very good. So here's Harry Walter, the leadoff batter. Krause is ready. Here's the windup and the pitch to Walter. 2-5 left-handed, walked him. So Harry Walter draws a walk from Krause. He's a 1-9, being held with Ira behind the plate, Ira Thomas. Here's Charlie Hemphill with Walter on first, nobody out. Okay, Krause now, the pitch to Hemphill. Woo! 2-9 left-handed, grounds it to second, and Walter will advance. So it's 1 out. Handled nicely by Eddie Collins. He threw it over to Davis. And Walter is on second. Davis. Yeah. Collins, Baker, Barry. Stuffy McInnes is the one who's missing. He's hurt right now. Davis, this is the $100,000 infield, folks. Here's Hal Chase. Some of you may recognize that name. He was a New York player. Look at him. I think he's the player manager. Okay, it's Walter on second, one down. The pitch from Krause. And that's 4-3 right-handed. Grounds to third. Baker. He's a 2. 16-2. And he throws him out. I'm sorry, Walter on second will hold. So it's 2 away. And Roy Hartzell, the cleanup hitter. Good hitter. This underway here at Shibe Park in Philadelphia. Okay, Krause, the pitch to Hartzell. And that's 1-7 left-handed. Fly ball to right. Running in is Murphy. He's got it. And the side is retired. No runs. The walk to Walters, left on base. And after a half, it's the Highlanders nothing. And the Athletics coming to bat. And here's Ray Caldwell. I think the Mets have a Caldwell. I think that's kind of cool. Not Cardwell, is it? I think it's Caldwell. There's Cornelius McGillicuddy, or Connie Mack, in the dugout, in a suit. He's not allowed on the field. And he has coaches if they're needed. He has this $100,000 infield. He's only able to get $75,000 of it on the field. Stuffy McInnes really rounds it out. And leading it off is Topsy Hartzell against Ray Caldwell. He had 38 at-bats all season. Yes, I did, Ron. Thank you so much for asking. I got curry chicken with white rice. It came with pepper and onion, white rice. Delicious. Thank you for asking so much. Topsy Hartzell leading it off. Here's Ray Caldwell. And the pitch to Topsy. 4-4 left-handed. Fly ball center. Hemphill. He's a 3. 11-3, and it drops in. And Hartzell goes to second for a double. A leadoff double by Topsy Hartzell. 4-4 left-handed. So Hartzell on second. Here's Briss Lord. Still learning about these folks. He's good. Christ. Okay, Caldwell from the stretch. The pitch to Lord. And that is a 2-7 right-handed. Walked him. So the A's have first and second with nobody out. And here's Eddie Collins. Boy, he had you look at pictures of Eddie Collins. Lots of them. I mean, that's a real person, for Christ's sakes. I think he's a Hall of Famer. Baker on deck. First and second, nobody out. Here's Collins now at the plate. Pitch from Caldwell. That's 4-8 left-handed. And that's a drive hit out. It's dropping in. It's going to be a double for Collins. Hartzell comes home. Lord goes to third and holds. So the A's get off to a 1-0 lead. The double by Collins. It's second and third, still no outs. 1-0 A's. We played an A's game earlier this afternoon, and I got to tell you, Blue Moon. Who a player like Blue Moon Odom would, it's out of the question to whether he could play in this league had he lived, because it wasn't allowed. It was sort of an unspoken rule instigated by the powers that be, including Cap Anson. That should be his legacy. It's second and third, no outs. And here's Baker. My Lord Caldwell. The pitch to Baker. That's going to be 5-5 left-handed. Walked him. The bases are loaded. I think we got a problem here. I am with Kathy Harden on the Highlanders. And I'm not sure, you could look it up, but they may have been called the Highlanders because they played at the Polo Grounds, and it's on Coogan's Bluff. It looks like a mountain behind them. You know, I guess today we'd say it's part of Harlem. Bases are loaded. This is before maybe even the glory days of Harlem. You know, there were times with the music. That's a whole nother thing. This is 1911. People hardly even know what jazz is. The jazz is, you know, maybe the word is just coming out. Bases loaded, nobody out. And here's Harry Davis. In for the injured Stuffy McInnes, part of this $100,000 infield. Bases loaded, no outs. Infield back, pitch from Caldwell. That's 4-8 right-handed, and Lord, he's not having a good day. It's hit deep to center. Hemphill is going back. Lord scores. Collins scores. Baker scores. And Davis is standing up at third with a bases-clearing triple. My Jesus. A triple by Harry Davis. He had one all season. He got it off Caldwell's card, and it's free to get off his card. Unless you're an N, you can't get that off his card. But we'll look at that again. Look at that. 4-8 right-handed, triple 1-8. It's a 5. It's a 4-0. This sounds familiar, doesn't it? We played an A's game this afternoon. Danny, I think it's Danny Murphy is about to come out. We're in the early part of the season here in April 15. I don't think there was an IRS yet. I don't think that was a filing date, but I could be wrong. Still nobody out. A double, a walk, a double, a walk. And then a triple. Okay, Caldwell is ready. Here's the pitch to Murphy. That's 2-9 right-handed, and he flies it to left. That's deep enough for Davis to tag. I would have pulled him if he let up another hit. You know, we're in a different thing here. We have Quinn and Ford, who pitched in real world. A Russ Ford, look at him. Wow. He won 22 games, 22-11. Well, we're going to have to learn about him. But he was used in relief also. You had like nobody who was exclusively relief. And then you have Quinn. What the hell? Holy shit. Caldwell has not hit yet. That's a good thing, because I just realized it's written in the roster. It's not the end of the world if I don't do it, but he has a card for hitting. He's one of like 4 players who have that. Here's Jack Quinn. Just seeing what's going on here. We have Quinn, who's available, a right-hander, and Russ Ford, a 20-game winner, a right-hander. Ray Caldwell, by the way, will be inserted. He has not even come up yet, so isn't that cool? That we can insert him as the pitcher, has his own hitter, probably like Ohtani, right? Okay, let's get back to this. 1 out, nobody on. Bases are cleared, 5-0, and here's, you okay there, Kathy? Jack Barry is the batter. You're a pretty good sport. And you're stoical. The pitch to Barry, that's 2-11 right-handed. Grounds it to short, that's for Johnson, and it's 2 away. Well, he got 2 outs in a row. Okay, and it's going to be Ira Thomas now. Yeah, there's Kathy Harden. She's cool. Speaking of the oh, that's IRS, not IRA. Okay, Caldwell, the pitch to Thomas. That's going to be 1-7 right-handed. Fly ball left, and that will do it. But there were 5 runs, 5 big runs, and I mean meaty first inning runs off Ray Caldwell. God. And here's Harry Krause out to the mound. Again, Harry, 11-5 on this excellent A's team. So he's like a backup starter. Sometimes I guess he was in the rotation. Sometimes he was, and he's a left-hander. And leading it off will be John Knight. It's 5-0 A's, and the fans are happy. You know what I'd like to do? Go back there in New York with some, I could buy clothing from that era. If I, you could find it. I could get bills, like $20 bills from that year and before that year. You know what $20 was? And I'd come loaded. I'd stay in the best hotel. And oh, I would have fun. Okay, here's Harry Krause. I mean, it would cost some money to get those bills here today. Not too much, but it would cost more than what the bill's worth. In some cases, appreciably more, but what it could spend over there. Go to the racetrack. Get a little more cash. Okay? Go to the racetrack. I'd love to do it. They had a Subway. I bet you it was a very good Subway, not too crowded. Lord, love it. God, would I love that. Okay, at least here's a chance we got. John Knight, the second baseman for the Highlanders, leads it off against Krause. Here's the pitch to Knight. That's 2-9 left-handed. He struck him out. And here's Birdie Cree, who was the star of the game last game when the Highlanders won it 11-9. One out. Pitch to Cree. 1-6 left-handed, and that's a drive. Hit out by Cree. It's in the gap, and it's dropping. He's rounding second, and he goes into third with a triple. Birdie Cree for the Highlanders. Granted, it's 5-0. All righty. With 1 out, here's Otis Johnson. Otis switch hitter, batting right. Pitch from Krause. That's going to be 5-3 right-handed. Grounds it to first for Chase. He's a 1. Player manager 10-1. And he boots it. Oh my. Cree comes home. Oh, wait a minute. It's not Chase. I am so sorry. You see, I caught that myself. It's 10-3. And it's a double play. Oh, no, it's an out. He's not forced. Oh, I'll show it to you all again. It was just, self-correction. It's a 5-3 right-handed grounds to first X, and that's Davis, a 3, 10-3. And it's a double play if there's someone on first. Or second, I guess, if they're forced. You see, it's just random how they make the errors for the best. You have to have an error. So it's two-way. And here's Walter Blair, the catcher for today. "5-2 right-handed, walked him. So it's first and third. And Ray Caldwell, the pitcher, with his own hitting card. Well, excuse me. He is a left-handed hitter, though. He might be better off as the hitting card, but we're going to do it. I didn't even think of that. Pitch to Caldwell, 3-7 left-handed, and he struck him out. And that will retire the side. A triple with one out. Left on base along with Blair, who walked. And we're moving to the bottom of the second, folks. Harry Krause allowing a triple to Birdie Cree. Well, here's Ray Caldwell. 5 runs allowed in the first inning. Whoa, that's like an ERA of 45. 0.00. Lord. It's a lot of runs. Here's Harry Krause. He's a 4 WS. Facing Caldwell now. Caldwell trying to settle down here in the second inning. It happens. 5-9, switch hitter batting left. And there is a double down the line for Krause. Oh my, here we go again. This time the pitcher, Ray Caldwell, allows a leadoff double to Harry Krause on second here. We're at Shibe Park. Beautiful night. You could take a train back to New York if I came to this game, staying in New York. You could take a train back. Okay, here's Topsy Hartzell, who doubled and scored. Caldwell having big problems tonight. Yeah, I have a feeling that John McGraw is going to take just so much of this. You know, he was a legend, John McGraw. Folks, go take a look at the photos of him. He was great. His personality, his integrity. Okay, here's Topsy Hartzell facing Caldwell from the stretch. It's Krause on second. 4-4 fly ball center. Hemphill reminds me of Weed. He's a 3. 9-3. Oh no, it drops in. And home comes Krause. Topsy with his second double of the ball game. And that's it for Ray Caldwell. John McGraw has had enough. That's 6-0. That's it for Ray Caldwell. And you'll see that in the box scores. Someone pitches an inning or even like half an inning and gets taken out. I'm not going to completely mimic that, but I'm going to do some things like this. 5 hits. Actually, he pitched 1 inning. 5 hits. He is responsible for hard sell, which would be his 7th run. That's it for Ray Caldwell. And I'm going to bring in somebody who can finish this game. Russ Ford. And you gotta believe the Highlanders can score at least 6 runs. And Russ Ford coming in, look, he won 22. He pitched in this game in real world. I love it. This is what McGraw is doing. He's bringing in Ford. Let him take a few warm-ups. And Briss Lord will come up with Topsy on second and nobody out. 1 in at 6-0 A's. Okay, here's Ford now. He's ready from the stretch to pitch to Lord. That's 3-3. He grounds it to short. Johnson has it, throws it to Hal, and that's 1 away. Hal Chase at first. Well, Philly is really, I mean, you know, exactly. After losing 2 games, hell yeah. And we'll see how well Krause does. Here comes Eddie Collins now. 1 out, Hartzell on second. He knocked home Krause, who led off with a double. The pitch to Collins. That's 2-5, right-handed. Grounds it to second. And Knight has it, goes to first, and Topsy goes to third on that. So Topsy on third with 2 down. Here at Shibe Park, I bet you, did they have good Philly cheesesteak back then in 1911? And I have other questions, which some of them might be inappropriate because I don't want to offend anybody. Okay? About culture. So, you know, you got to know when to keep your mouth shut. That's what a friend told me. Frank Home Run Baker. Russ Ford in for Caldwell. Retired the first 2 here. Hartzell on third now. The pitch to Baker. That's going to be 2-7 right-handed. Fly ball to center. Hemphill under it. Makes the catch. And the side is retired. 1-2-3 for Russ Ford. There was 1 run allowed by Caldwell. He gets off with 6 runs in 1 inning, which is about an ERA of 54.00. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, I'd say, but it's 6-0, and we'll see if Russ Ford can keep the Highlanders in this ball game. Here's Harry Krause. Harry Krause. He'll face the top of this Highlanders order. It'll be Harry Walter. 2 Harrys here. Oh, look at that. We got 2 Harrys. Oh, Lord, there's 2 Harrys. Two Harrys here. Oh, Lord, look at that, 2 Harrys. Oh, who would have thought? When I was a kid playing Strat-O-Matic in the early 70s, that we'd be able to do all sorts of things here. Double Harrys now. Okay, buckle up. Let's dig right back in. And by the way, you know the food was better back then? The quality? If you could, you know, if you had the money. Do you know how good a steak was back then? Okay, here's Walter now. Krause on the mound. A Very strange game. 4-3 left-handed, grounds it to third. That's for Baker. He's a 2. It's a very good infield. 10-2, but he boots it. Baker with the error at third base, a one-base error, puts Walter on. Frank Home Run Baker became legend. 4-3. Ground ball third, 10-2 is a one-base error. Became legendary. I think he hit 4 home runs, or was it 3 in the 1911 series? Here's Hemphill. Okay, Krause now. The pitch to Hemphill. 3-9 left-handed, grounds it to second. Was I holding Walter? No, I was not. I should have. That's my neglect, and that allows it to be a double play. Wow. I got to be a little more careful of the idea that a lot of these people have really good stealing ratings, but that's all part of the game. You see, it's just enveloped in the game. That was not a, you know what I mean? It's got to be like that. Randomness like that. I had forgotten and would have held him, and it would have been a single. Sorry about that. So it's 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Hal Chase. Great name for a baseball player, huh? And look at him, stealing A, bunting A, running 1-15. He's a 1 at first base. He didn't play much, did he? No, he did, of course. 315 average. I mean, what else do you want? What else do you want? Here's Hal Chase. That's 5-7, right-handed, struck him out. So it's side retired. We're heading to the bottom of the third, folks. 6-0 A's. He owned the A's, Connie Mack, until 1950 and managed them right up until the end. And he finally sold the team. The team was lousy by then. He had great teams around this time, you know, the late 1900s to the early teens, 10s, and then in 29, 30, and 31, they won the pennant in 3 years in a row. But that was basically it. Otherwise, they were shitty. Here's Harry Davis to lead it off. In fact, the legend has it that he took a cab once. The team was in another city, and when he got to the park, the cabbie said, "How about a tip?" And Connie Mack said to him, "Don't bet on the A's." Here's the pitch to Davis from Ford. 2-8, he walked him, so Davis is on. What a legend he was. Now Danny Murphy. Let's look at Davis. He's a D. Pitch from Ford. Whoa, that's a re-roll. We do the whole thing. That's going to be 3-5 right-handed. Chop to second. And Davis will move to second. Knight throws him out. Throws to Chase. 1 down, Davis scoring position, Jack Barry. And Jack is part of this $100,000 infield. Okay, the pitch to Barry. Now that's 5-9 right-handed. Flies to center, 2 outs. Caught by Hemphill, and here's Ira. Ira Thomas. 5-7 right-handed, and ooh, that is a base hit. And Davis comes home. So I guess the Highlanders just don't want to win tonight. That's going to make it a 7-0 ball game. A single by Ira, bringing home Davis, and here's Krause. 7-0 Philly. I think you're right there, Kathy Harden. It is revenge. They're sick and tired of that. Here's Ford now. The pitch to Krause. 2-5 right-handed. Grounds to second. That retires the side. But another run. This one off of Russ Ford. It's 7-0. A's. And the A's fans, they won the pennant last year. I think they lost the series. And what the hell? I didn't put Krause down here. Holy shit. It's Krause with 1 E. Heaven help us. I think it's so cool having this on the TV. I really, really do. Love that. Yeah. Folks, I think and you know, you hang out here long enough, you know, this happens. I'm just not up to playing anymore. Okay, and the moment you feel it's not right, or it's not good, it doesn't feel right, I'll tell you this though. I'm prepared to hang on, smoke a little more weed, and show some pictures of some of these people. All right. So I hope you all understand. And Kathy Harden, I hope you know that this can happen. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go to the top of the fourth. Maybe I'll pick it up tomorrow. At least the hard sell leads off. Maybe it's for the better. You know what I'm saying? Is that all right with you? Actually, I didn't want to. Yeah, I'll just move that like that for now. There we go. Yeah, I wonder what it was like. Yeah. It's an interesting thing. You know, like for example, you take a look at let me get this out here. First, let's take a look. I'll show you a couple people who are really classics. This one, Eddie Collins, and I'm going to tell you, I would bet money that he's a Hall of Famer. I want to take a look at his. Here's him when he's young. Here he is in 1911. Holy shit. Boy, that's a very young Eddie Collins. Jesus. It's part of the Bain collection. And this is a huge blow up. Oh, here's Eddie Collins. That's a little too big. Wow. Let me just take a gander at Eddie Collins for a little bit. Boy, that's a big frickin' picture. This is fine. The other is just pretty crazy. Can you imagine him? And he was on this team, folks. In fact, he doubled in the first inning and scored. Grounded to second in the second. And he's playing second base. And then you can take a look at him in some later years. Just go to images here. And here he is some years later. I don't know how many years later. See, here he is young again. Here he is some years later right there. He's in the Hall of Fame. He was a field captain. 333 lifetime. I don't know who you could compare him to, but he's just a great player. Now, Home Run Baker was a real person, and there's pictures of him later years, like during the Babe Ruth era. Here's a picture, just one of him when he's younger on the A's. And see if one might come up in his older years. Here he is again on the A's. And as he got older, here's a picture of him. At the end, he was older. 1958. Circa 1958. How do you like that? The year I was born. So there he is. That gives you an idea that these people lived. He lived to see, he lived pretty long. At his home in Trapp. Where's Trapp? Interesting. Frank Home Run Baker. Is he in the Hall of Fame? Jeez. Okay. Member of Connie Mack's famous $100,000 infield. So was Collins. It's not on there. He did lead the league 3 years in a row in home runs. Frank Baker. I'm actually showing you each member of this $100,000 infield. I might as well go through the rest. Barry played short. He was part of it too. You know, to pay $25,000 was a lot of money. Here's Jack Barry. Yeah. This is him in 1913. And then I'll show you Stuffy McInnes last. So there's Jack Barry. He played short. It's when fielding was very important. He's a 2 at short. And then Stuffy McInnes is the first baseman. He's hurt right now. You find him in 1911. I'm not sure. This is a famous picture here, or one of them. This will show you. This is the infield along with another player. There's Collins. That's Baker for sure. I think that's McInnes. And one of them is, I think that's Barry, and I'm not sure who that is. Let's see if that's what they say it is. They don't list it there. Here is the 1911 A's team. Wow. There it is. That is the team. And I bet you I can name some of these folks. And if you work hard enough at it, you'll be able to name them all. This is about as large as we can make it, but that's not bad. Oh yeah, indeed. I'm glad you liked it, Kathy. There's Cornelius, a relatively young man here, 1911. That's got to be Chief Bender. I'm not sure. I think that's Stuffy McInnes. That's Collins for sure. That could be Barry, the shortstop. The rest of these people, this guy looks like a coach, but I could be wrong. The rest of these people, they're pitchers and other people on this team. Ira Thomas is one of these. I don't know. I could look him up. I don't know what that is. That's got to be a child. And that is a very strange looking child. But just think what it was like. The Civil War had ended only 46 years ago. To me, 46 years? That's 80, well, it is 76. That's a freaking long time, 1976, but I was alive. That's amazing. I mentioned Ira Thomas. There he is. Here's Ira in 1911, circa 1911. That looks like almost like a prison shot, prison uniform. Christ. He was a catcher, and Lord, he's good. He's a 1-4. And he also, they all had baseball cards. Here's one of his cards. This is, not sure what year this is. 1911. And you know, this is, folks, this is so historical. Okay? Here's Ira Thomas. Isn't that something? Topsy Heart Cell. That is quite a name. Holy cow. He died in 1944, before the end of the war. He played left for the A's. He had to be good. I mean, here he is. Whoa. I love to look at pictures from this era because I just think you could look at it, and the quality is so good. In a way, it's better than today. It's different. Think about this guy. Hey, this guy. Lord. Okay, the A's beat the Cubs in 1910. They were the world champs. I didn't know that. And then I think they beat the Giants. I want to check that. That's important to me as I try to... Yes, they beat the Giants 4-2. It was a 6-game series back. Best of... okay, it was best of 7. There was a time when it was best of 8. In fact, in 1919, it was best of 8. Here's Stuffy McInnes. Here he is in 1925. He was on the Pirates. Can you imagine that? He had played in 1911. He must have been pretty young. And now he's playing on the Pirates at the end of his career. And the Pirates were so bad, I think. "19 seasons, 307 average." I mean, that's a Hall of Fame kind of, just because the 19 seasons. Maybe he's not. He was a player manager. My Lord. Stuffy McInnes. What I also like to do is look at William Howard Taft is the President of the United States. Here's a picture of him in 1912. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Just kind of think of that, folks. So there's your president. He was, he was post-TR. He was a post-TR Republican. I'm not an expert on it, but he moved away from some of TR, and he anointed Taft to follow him. It's a whole story. And then he ran against him on the Bull Party, which is kind of sad that he lost like that. In some ways, he was a great president, TR. But like everybody, he has a mixed legacy. I'd rather not get into it, but this is your President of the United States. as legend has it, he got up to stretch in the middle of the seventh inning once, and they were political enemies at this point, so it was a real turnaround. Okay. This is a real famous picture now. This is 1922. And believe it or not, that is Robert Tad Lincoln. I think at the time the only living child of Lincoln and Mary, Abe and Mary. That's Harding, and I assume he's the current president. And here's the prior, I think he's in the Supreme Court now, Taft. And this is at the dedication for the Lincoln Memorial on May 30, 1922. That's an amazing frickin' picture because of the dedication, and there's his son. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. That's his son. Lincoln's son. And you know, Harding gets a bad rap, in my opinion, because he had a corrupt cabinet. I guess he is responsible at the end. But he himself was relatively progressive compared to, and this is when the Republican Party was the good party. It's true. Harding died of what I think was a heart attack. The cardiac medicine was not exactly great in terms of diagnostics back then. He was a real character, Harding. He had affairs. He lived it up, I'll tell you. Taft looks sort of, I don't know, I hate to say it, elitist. You know that he had a falling out with his mother, Mary Todd. Mary Todd died, I think, 1885 or something like that. He placed her involuntarily in a psychiatric hospital. Okay, and I think she was there for a long time. She eventually, I think, got out. This woman, not only did she probably have a mental illness of some type, we don't know, bipolar or whatever, we don't know. But then she withstood the deaths, I think, of 2 children. And then having her husband murdered right next to her. And having him die. And there's some good documentaries on Robert Lincoln. I think it's our best, maybe one of our best connections to Lincoln himself, given that he lived in such a modern era. I don't know the exact year he died. This is a different era. You know, these people really lived. And that's the thing I really get into. It looks like they have the caption here. Okay, that's Danny Murphy, the outfielder. And the rest is the infield. That's Danny Murphy, who played today. This is the $100,000 infield. Far left, Stuffy McInnes at first. That is Home Run Baker at second. Jack Barry at third. Jack Barry at short. And Eddie Collins at second base. It was called the $100,000 infield. And this was 1911. They must have thought, what a time to be alive. This is the inventions with electricity. Already the car, the automobile just are getting better and better. Flying. But there was so much that they didn't know about what would come. Oh Lord. John Kennedy was not even born. He was born 6 years after this picture was taken, in 1917. Just to give you a little bit of orientation. I'm going to show you a random player. Boots Day, and he's still alive. Oh, I remember Boots Day. I don't know if any of you do. What a name. He played for the Expos. He's 75 now. He played from 69 to 74. Good enough to, he was a 256 hitter, an outfielder. Boots Day. Here's a picture of him. I don't know if any of you ever heard of him. Very journeyman. Wonder who else he played on. I thought he played on the Mets, maybe. No. How do you like that? He started with the Cardinals He had 6 at bats. I could use him as a nameless player. Look at that, 6 at bats. No hits. And then the next year, he started with the Cubs, had 8 at bats, then traded to the Expos in '70, and where he was given 108 at bats and hit .269. That's not bad. Stayed with the Expos till the end. Wow, one year he hit .342 with 207 at bats. Not bad. .288 with 386 at bats. Boots Day, and he's still alive. Boots Day. That's a sort of an obscure player. I could come up with maybe the most obscure player I could think of. I could probably do one more than that. He's still alive. I wonder how his life is. So I hope you all understand. I'm going to pick this game up again tomorrow, part 2. We'll just call this one part 1. No problem. I'm glad to. Just sitting around thinking about it, trying to get into, the mood to really be trying to think what it might have been like. (1911), I mean, that's a ways back. That is the dead ball era. And then you come into the 20s, even 1920, and that's the modern era with Babe Ruth And there was that picture, I think it was 1922, of the Lincoln dedication. That blows my mind. That really blows my mind. Yeah, that's cool. There's my big screen TV. I also have some very, very dark historical perspectives that I could offer. If you want me to, I will go through some of it. I think it's interesting to show that baseball players are human beings. Baseball suicides. Okay? And this is in no way endorsing suicide or anything. It's really looking at it from a sociological, anthropological, historical, psychological, it's very sad. And if any of you want me to go through that right now, I can do it. It doesn't take too long, and it's a rather quick review. Otherwise, I won't. Unless somebody wants to hear it. You also have baseball players who died while they were still active, and that's always a interesting thing, accidents usually, or illness. Then I have both sides. Whoops. And then I have both sides. You see, I got the big screen TV. This thing, I gotta tighten this again. Hold on. There you have a sort of a two screens. I can even make this full screen. That is very cool. Because I like playing with, this has nothing to do with Strat-O-Matic or history, even though, it is technological history. But look at this. Well, I'm going to call it a night, folks. I'm going to go do my Tranquility Space, which is something that I do on Twitter Spaces. I want to thank you all for being here. Yeah, Kathy Harden, thanks for hanging out. And Ron McGrath. We are people too. We are people who have interests in many things, not only Strat-O-Matic. So stay well, folks, and I'll catch you all next time. The easiest way to finish this is just to go to this manual, this console, click end stream, and then end.